Okay, so I think I continue. 5.2.2 Curvilinear System. Okay, I think my microphone is working okay. So the base vector G alpha and Gi remind us of curvilinear coordinate. Sorry, something is wrong here. Okay, curvilinear coordinate system. If we had etched a rectangular grid on the undeformed body, after deformation we would see the grid deformed into curvilinear net. This is a curvilinear system associated with base vector G alpha and matrix tensor G. In the context of general tensors, it is appropriate to use x alpha up and xi up as the coordinates. We can imagine a similar picture for rectangular grid in the current configuration. We can imagine a similar picture. We may introduce reciprocal base vectors G alpha and Gi to go with the curvilinear coordinate. These are defined as like this. G alpha, I say is what? G alpha, I don't know why G alpha, interesting, right? If we have G downstairs, this is partial alpha x. Reciprocal base vector. Gi alpha I x. See, I don't know. This is like this. This thing should be like partial alpha EI x. I go to upstairs maybe. No, I go downstairs. I'm not sure. See, this is something I want to ask Professor now. See, this I should go up. Should it be up or down? I, E, I. See, and G1. G, this should be like partial I, E, alpha, X, alpha. Upstairs? Maybe upstairs. Huh? Very interesting. And the question is, why do they call this reciprocal? So if you multiply G alpha and G beta, you get Kronecker delta. Do you get Kronecker delta? Maybe I have to do it on my note. Do you get Kronecker delta by multiplying EI? JJ? Maybe. Shall I try? Let me try. So we try alpha. Maybe we do G beta. As G beta, we do a partial beta. Yeah, E, J, X, J. Right? So we have like a dot product between these two. So Ji, this one, Ei and Ej, this gives Kronecker Ij. So you can delete one of them. Maybe we delete J. Okay, so we delete J. So we have I. This go to I. So we have something like a partial beta xi partial I x alpha. So this one, actually we have done this before. I don't know if I can go back to that page, but this was beta alpha, delta beta alpha. You see. I don't know if I can go back that page. This one, I think we confirmed somehow. This one and this one. Alpha go here, here. Alpha ij. Let me see. Let me take a screenshot. You see this one. So I keep it here. And then we go this part, right? So this one. So we have here two bodies. We have beta. Here it's alpha, and in between you have JJ, IJ. IJ? In this case, I have J. So we have to do this one. Beta I alpha. This one, kind of. It's a little bit different. X beta. I think we just change the order. Partial beta. This is like partial beta xi, partial I x alpha. So this case. Yeah. And I think this small g case is the first case. Yeah, in this way we can get this relation. So all index for x, so x index should up, small index for small x should be also up. Everything for vector or coordinate, material coordinate or spatial coordinate, the index should be put up more generally. Yeah, associated with the reciprocal base vector are the reciprocal deformation tensor G alpha beta and Gij, up, which are inverse of G alpha beta and Gij respectively. In matrix form, you have this. In matrix form, you have this. So this is something we learned already. And this has to be an inverse of this. We learned this already, and this thing has to be an inverse of this. the reciprocal deformation tensor G alpha J and Gij are attributed to Piola and Finger, respectively. The characteristics of a deformed body in the neighborhood of point X can be described as the characteristics. Okay. So the original, this is material. You know, in the you had like material coordinate and spatial coordinate, and we said we talk about one atom here, and this one deformed to this point. Okay? So you consider some atom which is just near the original but shifted a little bit here. Yeah? And this relation. So this difference is dx. Yeah. And this is the equation to calculate new point. This new point, blue point. So we have unperturbed thing. Then we have some first order term, second order term, right? So first term. In classical continuum mechanics, it is postulated that the neighborhood can be as small as possible. Okay, then the second order quantities dx alpha, dx beta, render. The funny thing here, they don't follow the general rule of putting indices up. It's very bad. So they put this index down. But officially, this should be up. They put everything down, but this should be up. Anyway, this has to be alpha. Okay, small x index has to be up. The second order quantity render the third term negligible. Okay, as a result, the deformation gradients partial alpha xi completely define the characteristics of the deformation. What does it mean? Materials satisfying this postulate are called simple material. The second order quantity, then the second order quantity dx alpha dx beta render the third term negligible. Okay, so that means we don't neglect second order, right? We don't neglect. Then why the deformation gradient completely define the characteristic of deformation? Take into account the coarse microstructure of the certain materials to take into account the coarse microstructure of certain materials, we are not permitted to assume that the third term is negligible. And we may have to include the second derivatives in the theories. I don't understand. Okay, we can neglect the third term, so we cannot neglect the second order term. But then, how come the first order completely define the things? Then in some case, we cannot neglect third order derivative. Then we need to consider the second order term. Let me see. I will ask Professor Na about it. So today here I stop it. Okay, see you next time.